So it's been 20 years since the album came out, and now it's being reissued. And of course, under these circumstances, with Aaron no longer with us, it's kind of put a pale up on everything. How are you feeling about the record coming out now?
Yeah, it's an anniversary, so you know it was always going to be coming out to celebrate that 20-year milestone. You know, we had discussed things in relationship to that with Aaron before he passed, and things were all looking good to get rolling. You know, maybe do a tour.
Right. Oh,
just unfortunately, you know, Aaron passed away, and we just had to keep moving on. We turned the record into a tribute, and to him, and yeah, it's emotional. It's been an emotional time, but you know, we'll just keep trucking.
Right. So what is it like for you guys to revisit this music 20 years later and under these circumstances?
It's been a hell of a trip, you know. Like, so I guess looking back at yourself 20 years ago, I mean, I'm an entirely different person now, and so it was really quite interesting to see who I was and remember who I was back then, and I think that there's some good lessons from that I'll be taking into my future as well. It was also, I think, one of the things that I really got out of it was I didn't realize just how much of a force to be reckoned with we were live. Like, I guess I always saw it from the back end. I was always behind the drums and always didn't think that we were good enough. But looking back on it, like, we packed a bit of a punch, you know, and I guess that's something to be really happy about. It. That's a good memory to have.
Right. And originally, when the album was released, there was all sorts of stuff going on, and it only came out in New Zealand, didn't come out in Australia. The band broke up shortly after it. So do you feel like this is kind of an opportunity to kind of right some wrongs that happened to the album along the way?
I think I never thought that we'd have the opportunity. I never thought that we'd ever release a record on vinyl. So I think it's really fantastic that there's been an appetite for it, and we really couldn't have done it without Warner Music. They've been incredible. For me, it's been about reconnecting with the rest of the guys, with Gabba and Tookie, but it's also been about kind of, I guess, a process of catharsis in a way where we've wanted to involve the people that really made an impact on our careers, but also who had very, very close relationships with Aaron. And so being involved with Steve James again, I've been speaking to Steve Betts, our manager, Jody Payne, our other manager, Dan Hennessy was involved in the onset. People like the Warner Music team in New Zealand, and all, you know, our old sound man Finn Keane, who has been absolutely instrumental in ensuring that we were able to find that single that we completely forgot that we recorded. Right. So we've wanted this to be about people going through through a process of remembering Aaron. I'm not actually crying. I've got a sore throat.
Oh, that's all right. Take a swig.
That's a serious frog in your throat.
Yeah, like that was intense, right? So this has been about saying goodbye to Aaron in a way as well.
Right. Now you mentioned a single, which is a song called "So Far So Close," and how does a song like that go missing? What happened? What's the story behind it?
It was recorded originally by Jonathan Burnside, but we weren't happy with that, so he kind of moved on, and we ended up with Steve James to do Geographica.
Right.
And we always played that song. That song was in our set list. It was all just like one of those tunes that we played. And yeah, it's a cool song, you know, cool harmony. And we recorded it at Sing Sing Studios, and it got mixed, but I just don't remember that. You know what I mean?
I completely forgot about it.
And then we got a hold of these CDs that had all the songs from the Geographica session, and it was sitting right there. So it's in context. It's been mixed and mastered by the same guys, which is the Dave Bascombe, Steve James.
Right.
Where the song, it's in context, and we thought, well, hey, let's get a single out there for Aaron, and get his voice back on the radio. Let's do it.
Let's talk about religion. It makes me think about the end. Well, it's just easier to believe in what's been already said, time and time again.
Yep. So what did you think when you first heard it? Because since you've forgotten all about it, is it like a new piece of music to you?
I was like, oh fuck, that's right. There was this song, and I was like, it sounds really good. Like we could release that. Like maybe we should ask the record company if they're interested in doing maybe another single. And so we played it to Dan Hennessy, played it to Dave Southgate, and Dave was like, it's great, love it. It was originally penned as being a single by the record company, basically until they heard Calling On. So what happened was after Aaron passed, and we started looking at this as a project to get this 20th anniversary remaster out and on vinyl, we started reaching out to people all around the world who had been a part of the band and stuff like that, and saying, look, can you find anything? Can you find those? Do you remember those recordings? And we couldn't get, we don't know where the original tapes are from the Geographica sessions. They've gone completely missing. Right. We were speaking to people in London, Sydney, the States. No one knows where it is. And so Finn Keane, who is our sound man, has kept this one CD that was one of, I think, 2 CDs that were the final mix and master that were just a desk recording that went onto CD. And CDs deteriorate at about 20 years. So he was able to pull that song out and share with us on digital. And so, it took us completely by surprise, but we're just so grateful that we got it.
Yeah, very cool. Now, in addition to that song, what else? What other little additions have you added on to this new version of of Geographica?
We started at a list of about 18 additional songs and whittled it down to about, I think, 7. So the Burnside mix coming out has actually been really, really great because it's just really great to remember all of that process. And I actually think the Burnside mix really pops, considering that we recorded that in a lounge in Melbourne on Pro Tools, with no pre-production or anything. So we found some
we winged it with them.
Yeah, we found some live to air recordings with Channel V in Australia that this guy Matt Brown in Sydney pulled out for us. We found some Triple J recordings. My
mother had a bunch of CDs.
Yeah,
and they came out, and I can't remember what we got off it, but I think that was the Radioactive live to air.
We also found the first recording that we did of If I Will I Can with Tom Larkin in the Natural Compression sessions, which again I'd completely forgotten about.
Right.
So we've got a really good kind of blend of stuff that's coming out on the digital deluxe version. I think that's going to be released next month.
Cool, excellent. And
that's all been remastered as well.
Right. So when the album originally came out, of course, there were big plans, but one of the plans that actually did happen was a tour, I think, with you guys with Fur Patrol and Shihad. What kind of memories do you have of that?
We just went up and down the nation, and it was sold out everywhere. Shihad was the biggest band in the land, and we went on before She Had, Fur Patrol were first on. It's just like any touring circus, you know. You gotta do your job best you can, play a show, you know, the best you can, and then do it all again the next day, you know. And but with, you know, we're with the mighty She Had, you know, so every night's like these guys are just the greatest live band in the world. So it's such a privilege to just get to play before them. And yeah, we had a great reception and had a great time.
Very good.
I remember feeling every night that we hit stage, that us as a band, that we were just firing on all four cylinders. I mean, we all felt so comfortable on stage. We felt it felt so great to be playing to those crowds, but we also felt like we were just absolutely on top of our game with those songs, and that we really, I remember feeling like the dynamics within the band of what we could do in terms of playing together was we could sort of take it anywhere that we felt that we could, and that we needed to or wanted to, and that the dynamic between us was that we were just communicating musically just so incredibly well. That's what I remember from that.
Yeah. And I just listened to the album this morning again, and, you know, it sounds pretty fresh even 20 years later. So with all that in mind, and with the tour and you guys firing on all four cylinders, what happened?
I think Aaron just got tired of fame.
Right.
You know, he expresses that in the song Snapshot. That song's all about the dark side, you know, the ladder climbers, the people you meet on. There's a saying in the business: you meet them on the way up, and you meet them on the way down.
Yep.
And you know, when you're going up, you meet some pretty slimy people because they just attach themselves to you, you know, and they're fake. And I think that just got to Aaron, and also as people, you know, we weren't really healthy, to be perfectly honest. And you know, a lot of drugs and alcohol were involved for you know, myself and for Tookie. And I think Aaron saw that as well, you know. Right.
Yeah. I think 20 years later, you're kind of re-entering the music business in a different sort of way. How does it look to you at this point compared to the way it was 2000?
It's so radically different in so many ways. In fact, I think in some ways it's so much more empowering for musicians and for look, I find it harder to actually find what's happening musically these days because there's such an overwhelming amount of options. But one of the things that we've been involved with is Warner have set us up artist accounts with Spotify, and now with YouTube we're starting to try and build out that YouTube audience and stuff. And the power of those platforms, the analytics, what it can tell, how you can have direct conversations with the people that love the record, or, you know, that love what you do, and the connectedness of it is actually really phenomenal. I work in tech, and I'm amazed by what platforms like YouTube and Spotify can do. They're just utterly incredible. So yeah, it's really different in a lot of respects. I mean, I think it would be really challenging to be a young band starting out again for a lot of reasons, but I also think that there would be a lot of completely different opportunities if you were starting out again to those that we had.
Right. So what would you tell a young band starting out with your background and your experience behind you?
Play all of those empty rooms for years like we did. Suck it up and play those empty rooms. It's what
play live.
Play live.
Keep writing. Don't listen to what people say about whether your songs are, like shit songs, or they sound like this band, or you sound like that band. You just keep playing and doing your thing, and
Right.
it will come. It will come.
And whatever
It's
you
hard
do,
work. Really, really hard work. Like, it's not just like people are like, oh, they're so talented, or they're really great, but like, man, she had worked their asses off day after day after day, rehearsing, practicing, getting their game on. We did too. We learned from them.
Right.
And it's a craft, and if you want to be great at a craft, you want to be great at something, you've got to do it every day.
I think one of the key things, so it's one thing to be able to be good at what you do, but I think one of the key lessons that I think we would pass on as a band would be to love each other and to communicate and to support each other, because I don't think we had enough of that at the time. I don't think we had the maturity or the strength or the experience to know that, and to also, I don't think we appreciated what was happening for us or the opportunities that we had at the time, because we were always dealing with that internal tension. I mean,
Right.
It's good creatively, but just love one another. You have to.
All righty. So what's next on the plates for you guys?
Not having to do the Weta stuff all the time would be nice for a little while. I just got to be honest. I didn't realize how much work this was going to be. It's been fantastic. I've been, doing interviews for the first time in 12 and then 20 years it's been nerve-wracking. Like, I've been so nervous about this, and it's been so great to do this, but also it'll be nice to put it to bed, I think, as well.
Yeah. And what about you, Gabe?
Yeah, as Bolly said, it'll be great to see that vinyl come out.
Yeah.
It'll be lovely to hold it in our hands, and that tribute to Aaron, and it's great to he's on the radio. There's a beautiful video that's in the pipeline for the single, which is a tribute to Aaron. And I can't wait for everyone to see that.
Right.
And just I'm still playing guitar and loving it, and keep strumming, everybody. Keep strumming.
There you go. Well, hopefully it won't be another 20 years before we talk to you again, but thank you for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. Hope it all goes well. I can't wait to see the vinyl. Can't wait to hear it. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you very much. We'll see you.